Okay, we're going to start the meeting. If you can just sit down for a second. Unfortunately, if you saw the agenda, we have an executive session. So we'll start the meeting and then we will go into executive session. I'm guessing it's going to last about 20 minutes to a half hour. We'll put signs on the door and then you're more than welcome to come back. And then we'll go right to public comment. So we'll try not to keep anybody too long. But today we're going to do the roll call. I'm Bob Carlson, the first selectman. We have Selectman Brett Mastriani, Selectwoman Nicole Porter, Admin Finance Officer Suzanne Thero. We'll be inviting our town labor attorney Christy Kelly into our executive session. We'll start with the pledge of allegiance. So you'll have the option when we make a motion in a second to go into executive session. You could either wait in the hallway or you could wait outside there. Again, I'll post signs on the doors and then we'll pull those out and let you know when we're back. Okay. I can flash the lights or something if you want me to, but all right. Motion for executive session. I hereby move that the Board of Selectmen, along with the first Selectman, Robert Carlson, Administrator and Finance Officer Sue Thero, Town Labor Attorney Christy Kelly, the two Selectmen, enter executive session for the purposes of discussing strategy and/or negotiations with respect to the collective bargaining negotiations. This action is taken without prejudice to the Board's right to discuss these matters in private meeting pursuant to Connecticut General Statute, State Statute 1-202.
Second.
Okay, we have a first and a second. We've said we're going to invite in Suzanne Thero and Christy Kelly. And all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Okay, we're in executive session. I'm just going to go post Okay, we're back in regular session. Just give you a second for everyone to come in and sit down. Okay, first of all, thank you all for waiting. Sorry the agenda fell that way, but we had the agenda made well before what was ever happening tonight. Unfortunately, the library had a concert scheduled tonight. Would have been much more fun to sit out there and listen to music and staying in the hallway. But with the weather, they canceled it. It's now next Tuesday in 94-degree weather. So that'll be next Tuesday. The Fake Experience will be performing on the lawn, and we do not have a Board of Selectmen meeting yet. So we're back out of executive session. Okay. Okay, so I'll back up. Can you hear me out there? If I back up, perfect. So now we're going to do public comment. And public comment at this stage of the meeting is on non-agenda items. So if you see something on the agenda you want to talk about later, we'll talk about it when we hit that agenda item. But if you don't see what you want to talk about on the agenda, you're more than welcome to come up to the podium. We'll have you just state your name and where you live in town, and then you can make whatever public comment you'd like to. I'd like to have public comment to a reasonable, well, I won't say 2 minutes like we're doing a town meeting, but a reasonable amount of time. In case there's a lot of people who would like to speak. And if someone would like to speak, I want everyone to be able to speak the first time before you come back and speak a second time if that you feel that's necessary. So I'm going to put a microphone up there. You come to that podium so that way you'll be on camera and you can say who you are and what you want to speak about. So you can either come up once in a while, one at a time, form a line, and unless nobody wants to public comment, then that's fine.
Glasses or no glasses with the eyes now. All right. The other thing, I don't know if this is appropriate or not. I had a folder for each of the selectmen and had the information in it as well as letters from not speaking tonight. Okay. Good evening, everybody. My name is Barbara Deindorfer. I've been a resident of North Stonington since 1995. And I reside on 334 Grindstone Hill Road. Thank you for the opportunity to speak this evening. I'll make this as quick as possible. I'm sorry, Bob, I think this might be 3 minutes. I'm hoping that these comments, although critical, will in the end improve a sense of security, confidence, and faith in all of our elected officials by constantly striving to conduct themselves appropriately in a manner that reflects their job as good stewards of the entire town of North Stonington. It was brought to my attention recently that the ex-selectman and current town treasurer made a post on a public but unofficial town Facebook forum called No Stow Unfiltered. Hateful, inappropriate, and what I consider mean posts are irresponsible, but certainly within one's First Amendment rights. This post, however, crossed the line, as it clearly invoked, condoned, and advocated for violence against people simply because they do not share his beliefs. Irresponsible posts such as this put people in danger. The post in question showed a modified huge John Deere farm cultivator with enormous blades and tongs and says, quote, "Introducing John Deere new multi-lane protester digester." Now, if you think that this is not a call or advocating violence, all you have to do is follow the thread. Another North Stonington resident, but not an elected official, then posted an equally hateful, irresponsible, and violent response showing the quote, new Dodge Ram protester edition. A graphic shows a white truck with a front end and wheel wells completely covered in what looks like blood. That same person's written response also suggests using the accelerator and running over protesters. Hate begets hate and can certainly promote an individual as well as a mob violence mentality. At least 2 other North Stonington residents commented on the thread how divisive and inappropriate the original post was coming from a town official. The official in question offered no apology, nor did they try to diffuse the situation, claiming it was a joke, even if in poor taste. As I understand, all elected officials in our town, paid or voluntary, take an oath to uphold the United States and the Connecticut state constitutions, as well as signing the town code of ethics. For now, we still have a democracy. My and your First Amendment constitutional rights allow me, as well as our treasurer, to assemble, protest, and enjoy free speech, but not dangerous or threatening speech. And this is how I categorize this official speech. So what would I like to see here? Ideally, I would like to see our government, all of it, start bringing more civility, cooperation, and less divisiveness from the bottom up, even if we are not seeing it from the top down. We can do this. We have a responsibility to do this. For me, in this particular situation, it means the following. 1, documentation of this on the aforementioned employee's record via actions by the selectmen and/or human resources, and perhaps presenting this to the ethics committee. 2nd, prevention. Send out a memo to all town elected officials and committee members, reminding them of their oaths, reminding them of the town's code of ethics and their personal and professional responsibility to be good stewards of the town and its people. 3rd, some kind of follow-up with as much info as is allowable so that we can feel more confident that this will not happen again. I will leave you with one final last simple but important statement. I'm paraphrasing my daughter's graduation speech. Words matter. They can make someone's day or week or month, and they can build bridges or they can tear them down. They can also lead to violence, pain, destruction, and even death. We are at a pivotal point, but we can do something about it, and I am confident that you will. Thank you.
Thank you, Barbara. Sure. Thank you.
My name is Martha Bradshaw, 59 Dennison Hill Road, North Stonington. I'm reminded of when Barack Obama first was in his presidency, and I think it was 2009, he went to a school and it was with young people, and one of the young students asked him for advice if I want to be an elected official, run for office. I will never forget his words. He looked at the student's eyes and said, "Be careful what you email, be careful what you post on the internet. It will always be there." It's sort of like the toothpaste coming out of the toothpaste tube. Once it's out, it's hard to get it back in. So I would implore us all to be very careful about what we post on the internet, on social media, especially in the AI-generated age, when you never know who is generating this information. Please be careful. Our children are watching us too. Thank you.
Well, thank you, Marty. Is there anyone else who'd like to speak at this time? On the subject or any other subject? It's anything that's not on the agenda. Okay, so thinking about this as, oh, sorry, Sean.
Just wanted to make a few comments. I'm not going to expand upon this too much. I don't think this is the forum for discussion on this. I'll make this short because I don't think this is the forum to discuss this. It really doesn't have anything to do with the selectmen. I placed the post on North Stonington unfiltered site. This site was developed for controversial or things that were not allowed on the North Stonington Town Group page. It was specifically set up for things that might be controversial, sometimes things that are political. I want to say that I didn't post this as Sean Murphy, Town Treasurer. That's not the identification I used when I did my post. I did not post this on the Town of North Stonington website. It has nothing to do with my position as Town Treasurer. And first of all, I heard from the first speaker that indicated this was a violation of code of ethics. It is not. You may read that online, the code of ethics. It says it is not any part of the code of ethics. It has no part of the oath that I agreed to when I took over the job. And like I say, I don't think this is the forum to be discussed. I wonder how many of you actually have blocked me from, if you use Facebook, you have if you don't like someone's post or whatever, you have the ability to block. I questioned, why this is actually, my post is actually condoning violence. Some of the people in this room probably, their kids or grandkids are probably playing video games that are on much more decisive than this. I would think that, rather than condoning or not, rather than speaking against why aren't you denouncing the riots themselves that are putting our police officers and our National Guard members why aren't you denouncing the harm that's being done to them and the buildings that are being lit on, cars being lit on fire? So I posted this after seeing it online. I made no comments of my own on the post. I just posted, as you see, what was on another site. By doing so, I don't think that I'm, really condoning or promoting violence. This is similar to a cartoon of no, excuse me, I have the floor, sir. I have the floor, Paul. But I didn't, it was mentioned that I made some comments or whatever on the post. I did not make comments on the post. So, and think it was funny or whatever the speaker's term the speaker used. But I have a right to post on Facebook. How many of you reported it to Facebook and got the post taken down? there are avenues to deal with that versus wasting the time of the selectmen. It's not, nothing's gonna change from, they have no duty to address me acting in my personal capacity outside of town hall and on my time. You know, the post was put up there as a joke, as a more of a comic type thing versus promoting violence. And I just don't see it that way. And you request the selectmen to take action on this, and I question that, whether they have any authority whatsoever. And I don't have a record. I'm not a employee of the town of North Stonington. I am an elected official. And there's no, good or bad, there's no record kept on me. And there are no recall opportunities in the state of Connecticut unless I fail to do my job itself, and probably a felony or something like that. But you know, I do say I'm sorry you interpreted it that way. I didn't interpret it that way when I reposted it, and I won't be silenced in my further post based on a group of people's feelings on how they interpreted it. That's all I have. Thank you.
Thank you, Sean. Any other comments? Yes.
So I'm fairly new to, sorry, I'm Bonnie. I'm Meadowwood area. I don't know you. I don't know you. I don't know many people in this room. I know everybody lives in Meadowwood. We're here for a whole different reason. However, I do work in the IT field. I work with a lot of people that are on social media and all of the things. So I think the only thing that I just want to say is I don't necessarily agree or disagree with you. I don't agree or disagree with you. I hold no ground here. I think what I'm hearing her say is to remember that you are an elected official and that you are somebody that the town and the town's children look up to, and choosing, I haven't seen the post, I don't know, but think about what you're choosing to post. If it's not if it's not something that's cool for the town public site, it probably isn't all that cool for the town private site. If No Stow Unfiltered is still an associate, I've tried to look it up. I couldn't find the group, so I'm not sure. But I think what I'm hearing is that we need to be careful of what we're posting. I know that as a manager at my company, if I were to post something like that and the people that report to me see it, they would end up thinking less of me. And not that I don't do my job well, not that I can't hold a position of leadership or of managerial status, but one that's of respect and of something of mentorship, I think is what is being looked at here. So my only advice is, obviously, I think a lot of you are here for this particular statement being, again, this is my second ever town meeting. So just remember, like, if you don't like something, definitely block it. But as an elected town official, just know who your audiences are. You're the people in the town that elected you are seeing you potentially post something that could be inappropriate. Think about it. If I don't care who likes Trump, who doesn't like Trump, but I can tell you right now, if Donald Trump were to post that, there's going to be an absolute chaos about those who think it's inappropriate, those who think it is appropriate. Just remember, you're going to get chewed out. no matter what you do. So maybe just think twice is all, as I'm gonna say about it.
Thank you, Bonnie. Paul?
Paul Bueller from Casada Hill. I've been a member of this town for 63 years. My main concern with this issue is keeping our town together. Over my life, I've been a Republican, I've been a Democrat. I'm now, as of today, an independent because I don't want to be associated with either party. Not to say that anybody is right or wrong. It's all a matter of interpretation, just as Sean said, you know. He might not have meant it as threatening, but interpretation is what it's about. And the people in this town, I am friends with everybody that I know. I mean, I'm friends with Sean, I'm friends with Bob and Brett, you know. So as a town official, though, I think it's imperative that we try to, we or you all, because I have stayed out of town politics, and it's very few times I stood before a microphone and talked. I think it's imperative that you try to bring people together. Now, there's always going to be differences, yes. I personally have protested. I do not go on Facebook. I did not see it, but when I saw it, it frightened me. Now, we're at a critical point in the country. We just all need to try to work together and be mindful and sympathetic and empathetic to the people around us. You know, if you want, I know about your right to your opinion and your right to free speech. I think this just may have stepped across the line because so many of your neighbors are now feeling threatened by you. And I don't believe, Sean, that they should. I mean, but I am one of those ones that feels threatened because I will continue to demonstrate my right to protest, peacefully protest. Now, when somebody says the things that were said, and again, however you meant it, but it's how it's interpreted. And then it's inciting violence when you get responsive posts like the one about the truck. And I don't go on it, so I didn't hear about this, but I just think, and I agree also that the Board of Selectmen, you're an elected official, but I think that's the crux of this issue. And my point for wanting to speak is that I want this town to remain united. You know, I think the selectmen are doing a fine job. I think our town is running as smoothly as I can ever remember it running. We're getting things done. We're progressing. And we all just need to stick together and work together and be united, but also be considerate of everybody who is out there reading whatever or seeing whatever. Thank you.
Thank you, Paul. Any other comments? Okay, if not, I just, go ahead.
I would like to just make a couple.
So do I. Do you want to go before me?
Sure.
Go ahead.
Thank you. First, I want to speak as a member of the Board of Selectmen. I did receive numerous different concerns from residents regarding this post. I think that it remains to be seen what, if anything, the Board of Selectmen can do, except to appeal to everybody as far as conducting themselves in a way that represents what we all love about North Stonington. I'm not quite sure, Sean, how you could have thought that the post did not elicit or promote violence. There's really no debating that. It was kind of quite obvious. As a resident of the town, I found it very disturbing, very divisive. And whether or not, as an elected official, our oath that we all took, and for many of us, we were all together in the room that night when we took the oath. I don't remember exactly who was there, but we were all there. I remember reading my elected official handbook for the town of North Stonington, and it did speak to remembering that we were elected officials and that we would conduct ourselves in such a way. Somebody mentioned to me in the last couple of days that we are elected officials, and with that, we represent the entire town. Not 50% of the town, not the part of the town that we identify more with, but 100% of the town we represent. We speak for, we try and make good decisions for. Again, I think it remains to be seen. I was hoping to hear some type of an apology. Not quite sure that I heard that. And I think that I am just appealing to everybody. I do support, and I think it's important in today's day and age with the world and the country that we're living in to remind our town employees and our elected officials with some type of reminder or email or writing that we do represent the town, and we should always conduct ourselves that way. I think more than anything, I would appeal to anybody that is looking at social media, that is posting on social media, that is attending protests one way or the other, to remember that first and foremost, we are neighbors, we are friends, we are residents of the town of North Stonington, and it's got to start somewhere. It seems insurmountable to affect what's going on in the country right now, but it's got to start somewhere. And why doesn't it start here in North Stonington?
Thank you. So as the first selectman, I'll speak for myself, not for the other two selectmen. I have to disagree with Sean that this isn't the right forum, whether it is or it isn't. What it did is it took a negative situation and brought a lot of our residents into the room that have different opinions on this post. I think I give Sean credit for coming because I knew he realized that there was going to be a lot more people that disagree with him than agree with him. And I think that it would have been a big man to come here and not if you didn't show up and rely on the selectmen to handle this. But I think that this was a negative situation that we've just made the best of. We're in a room that has no violence. No one raised their voice. We all remembered who we were, the fact that we are neighbors, we are friends, and we just conducted a very professional, well-spoken meeting with a lot of great speakers, including Nicole, on what this is all about. It's taking a town like North Stonington, and since the 3.5 years that we've been here, we've tried to bring the town together the best we could. And I think if you see in general on social media, there's not a lot of animosity. There's not a lot of this, what we just saw recently, hasn't been a lot of that in the last 3.5 years. We've tried hard to bring the town together. I think we've done a pretty good job. I appreciate Paul's comments on the direction the town has moved. But I appreciate that the way that we handle this evening. The message, there's two sides of every argument. And I think that both sides handled it pretty professionally tonight. Again, nobody raised their voice. No one pointed a lot of fingers. And whether this was the right forum or not, it did put us together, remind us who we are. So I want to thank you for that. also thank you for waiting a half hour before we had a chance to meet. But I would say going forward, I think it's always a good reminder that we do represent not only ourselves, but we represent many people in town. As Nicole said, everyone in town. We hope to continue doing that, at least through this term, which ends in November. If the selectmen do not have any power to fix what has happened, and Sean is right about that. There's no recall. He's an elected official. We don't have a lot we can do as far as that individual situation. We can do things as reminders that remind people who we are and how we are supposed to act. We can do that. If you're not happy with an elected official, November is around the corner. That's when the power of the people of town comes out. If you're not happy with myself, Nicole, Brett, Sean, whoever's running, then show that at the polls. Just change. That's where you have the power to make things change. And by the way, this is a select meeting, not a town meeting, Bonnie. There's less people at a town meeting. Well, welcome to town. And I appreciate your words, because it was almost like that third party looking in and giving it a good overview of the situation from both sides. So I don't have anything else to say about this, except thank you for all coming. Thank you for waiting. Thank you for being professional and courteous to each other. Thank you for yelling, screaming. I had no idea what we're going to be in for this evening. And I'm proud of the way that that we've all acted this evening. Did you want to follow up with something, Brett?
Yeah, I mean, honestly, there's not much I can say that the other two selectmen haven't said. And I understand both sides of what happened here tonight. I will say, and Sean knows that we've gone back and forth on Facebook throughout the 15 years, 18 years that I've been in town politics and dealt with Sean. We've been on our highs and our lows. But I will say that knowing Sean, I don't believe he was trying to incite violence. I understand why it was taken that way, and I can see that in the post. And I could see the post that followed it. I saw it when it was originally posted. I did not see that truck one that was posted after that. So I'm glad you brought that to our attention too, because you can see the snowball effect. And I think we've all worked hard in our community to not have the divide that we've seen nationally. We've worked really hard at that. We've tried to, I can say that this board, we've tried to keep the extremes out of what we do here in the community. But I do agree with Sean that I don't think he did it with that intention. But as an elected official, we do have to be mindful of what we post. We have to think twice before we hit post, right? We can type it out. I've typed in responses to people online, and before I hit add that comment, I said, you know what? At this point, it doesn't add anything to it. It ramps things up, and why do that? It's not meaningful to the community. It doesn't help the cause, and it has unintended consequences because people read things differently. Just like text messages, you don't always understand how those are coming through because you can't read it with the right inflection sometimes, and they can go different ways. And I think that's potentially what happened here with Sean's post. I do have to say, we don't have recalls in Connecticut. There's nothing, we have no power over other elected officials in the community. An elected official could not show up to every meeting they're supposed to or do the job. There's nothing we can do as elected officials other than do this. So I will say where I disagree with Sean on one thing, we disagree on many things, but on this tonight, that this might be the forum to do this, because all we can do is state our opinion and say, hey, we don't appreciate those kind of things. But I do need to stress that, knowing Sean over the years, I don't think it was to incite violence. I think his sometimes humor and satire goes a little flat sometimes, but I do think, as everyone stated, we have to be mindful, especially as things are progressing in the nation. We are a small community of 5,000, 5,100 people that mostly agree on what we do in town. We don't agree on some other things, but we agree that we love North Stonington, and this is why we're here. We love that sense of community, and we have to be mindful of that. And unfortunately, social media can ramp those things up. So just everyone that's participates in the unfiltered page, the town group page, just let's try to work together so we don't have these divides and we bring the town and the community back to this small community that we love. So we don't have this fight. So you can see Sean in the grocery store, not want to look at him and despise what he does, because that's not truly what people always are, just for those few comments that they make. Unfortunately, that's what we reflect on sometimes. So I just think we have to be mindful. And Sean, hopefully, I know we've had talks over the years of being mindful of what we post. And I think this brings light, and I do give credit to Sean, and I give you guys a lot of credit for showing up. I hope you guys attend more meetings on positive notes too, because we try to accomplish a lot and we need the input from the public to do so. So I appreciate your time coming in. I really do. And what you've said in the information that you provided in the letters they don't fall flat with us. We do read them and we do agree with them. So thank you for coming.
Okay. Is there any other public comment on non-agenda items? If not, we're going to move along with the agenda. I'll entertain a motion to approve minutes.
I'll make a motion to approve June 3rd, 2025 meeting minutes.
I'll second.
Okay, we have a motion and a second. Is there any discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor of approving the June 3rd minutes, say aye.
Aye.
Okay, I think there's 3 sets of minutes this evening.
I don't think we do minutes for executive sessions.
Well, that was a bone of contention with Antoinette because Sue agrees with you and Antoinette didn't, so we're looking into it. But
Okay.
since we're doing it now, we may not do it in the future.
So you want us to approve the executive?
I would,
session?
because they're here, but I think in the future we might be changing this.
All right.
We're doing some
Okay.
research.
You want us?
So I'll make a motion to approve June 3rd, 2025 executive session and May 9th, 2025 executive session minutes.
I'll second.
Okay, any discussion? I guess the only discussion is that we are investigating this and because Sue disagreed, we shouldn't be doing this, and Antoinette thought we should, because that's what they did in Groton, but she's going to look into to see if we should be or not. But they're very vague and they're not really telling us.
Yeah, I've never seen us do that in the past.
Yeah, I don't know why, but it's something Antoinette asked Jen one time, why don't we have minutes to?
I mean,
okay.
it doesn't hurt. I'm just saying, we're
Okay,
not putting any information in there that out of executive session. So,
only because they were written, I figured we'll do it this time.
Okay.
All right, so all those in favor say aye.
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 Are there any additional selectmen comments? Okay, any first selectmen comments? I'm going to say not this evening. Number 8, affordable housing update, Meadowwood water issue discussion. As I said to the selectmen, I emailed you earlier this week and said, please do not reply because we don't want to have FOI or illegal meetings. I mentioned I was sending out a letter to all those who lived on Meadowwood or near Meadowwood. I want to send you a personal email just to let you know, because we've heard there was discussion, there's vehicles over there, and what are they doing? And are they doing something that we just told them we didn't want them to do that? Why are they doing it? Well, that's not what we were doing. We heard loud and clear at the last meeting, and the affordable housing, whether you're for it or against it, if nothing else, it gave, and I don't know if the people that live in Kingswood and Meadowwood had this opportunity before to get in front of town leadership and actually say, hey, we're frustrated with 40 years of water, and this is what we have to say. And we heard it. Cheryl Haas with Red Onion came to visit me. She heard it, and she's on the Affordable Housing Committee. And we kind of agreed as a board, say, okay, I'm not telling you we're gonna forget the affordable housing project. We're just tabling it for now. What we do need to do is protect those people that are residents of our town now in lieu of residents that may come into our town, and see if we can help you with the situation. So that's why I sent out the letter. I sent it, I think, to every house from number 1 to number 24. So if you're one of those houses, you probably got my letter. Just to say that if you see equipment over there, know that we're trying to do something to help the situation. We've already contacted the state. If you know Alan Ladd, our foreman, who's wonderful, he's been crawling through pipes. Actually, Nick Mullane was in. I had Nick Mullane ride with Alan to show him where some of the things that were done years ago are. In the middle of that field, I think there's like a junction box that 2 pipes come in, but we don't know if if those pipes have roots going through them, if they're blocked up. And we also have to work with the state because they go from Meadowwood through that field, down next to Chucky's and under the road into that swamp area. We're not sure that the water is running the way it's supposed to be running. So you're going to see some excavators over there. You're going to see some work being done, but honestly, it's only with the good intentions of trying to help you guys out, because I would not want to have to live with those conditions of all that kind of water. And it's not fair that you do either. All residents in the town are very important to us. We heard the message loud and clear. And I just wanted to let you know, that's what we're going to be working on as selectmen, at least for the time being, until we can see some positive results. Will the affordable issue come back on the table? Probably somewhere down the road. But I didn't feel, and the selectmen agreed, we didn't feel that it was the right thing to do to push a project when these people, you people, are having an existing problem. So if we're able to fix it, maybe everybody's happy and we can talk about the affordable housing again. And even if we fix the problem, doesn't mean that the affordable housing will get shoved down your throats. It still, there's going to be many discussions about that. I think if you were at that meeting, I told you we're on the third hole, we're still on the third hole. We haven't gone any farther yet because we came up to a situation that we have to address. So Selectmen, before we ask any, if there's any comment on that tonight, do you want to make any comment on this situation?
So the decision to kind of just table it for right now has already been discussed with the Affordable Housing Committee?
They're an advisory board. We don't have to
Okay.
discuss it. Yeah, we can make that decision ourselves. And that's when I sent you the email saying, I'm sending out this letter. I'd just like to table it now. And that's why I had on the agenda tonight to discuss it in case you disagree with me on this, but I kind of knew you did.
Yeah.
So basically, I was going to say the same thing. So I think I would like to make a motion that we actually table it until we do some more research into the water issue. So it's officially out there that we're tabling it until we dive a little bit more into that, get some more information. So then I think what it does also is gives the Affordable Housing Commission some kind of clarity compared to, hey, we're just not talking about it anymore. But I think we should officially table it. So I'll make that motion.
All right, Jen, do I hear a second?
Yeah, I'll second.
Discussion. I just want to let you know, I did meet with Will Mason on this. He's the chairman of the Affordable Housing. I told him this is the route we're probably going. And he understood it. He understands the issue also. I said Cheryl Haas came to visit me. She's on affordable housing and she agreed also. She actually thanked us for taking this route. So I think voting on tabling it makes sense because that makes it, we've done something, right? We've taken action. And that way you as residents know that nothing can happen because we've just voted to table this for now. And I'll make sure that whenever it comes back, whether it be 6 months from now, 2 years from now, whenever this comes back, that you will all be notified. As I notified you with a letter now, we'll probably do the same thing. I'll notify you with a letter again saying, okay, it's back on the table. This is when we're discussing it. So you all know. And that way you won't miss a meeting. So
I just, as we're discussing, I just want to let you guys know as well. We're always looking for members of the Affordable Housing Committee. And it's, I'm no pun intended, but we really are. So if there's anybody that has a passion or is interested in helping that committee look into other options, please reach out send an email to Bob, and that's an appointed committee. We have plenty of vacant spots on it because I do think they should be still looking at other options within the town. And I know you guys are passionate about it. A lot of the people that spoke in favor of having something somewhere. So if they can get more help with that, I think it would go a long way.
okay. Any other discussion amongst us? Okay, let's vote. Go ahead.
No, I was just going to say, you answered a question for me because you might remember, I said that I live in Kingswood. I live on Pinecrest. And driving into the neighborhood, and I love, especially in the spring, love to look at everybody's yards and everything coming up. And the houses on the left, I just was noticing, and I think it's the like the green split level with this big mound in the backyard. And I couldn't understand why would they because I saw, construction stuff back there a while ago and couldn't understand why you would put a big mound in a nice, beautiful flat backyard.
For sledding. It's
So
for sledding in the
for-
winter.
so thank you for enlightening me and us on what you all have been going through. And now I definitely have a little bit more of an understanding of what has had to take place because of some of the issues that you guys have. So
Okay, so there's a motion on the floor to table this.
Yep.
We're
I
not
second it.
giving it a time at this point, just table it to a further date. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? Would anybody like to comment? Mrs.
And that mic is already on.
I'm Claudia Hall, 31 Meadowood. I'm just wondering, Bob, if you're tabling this and we have this new bill coming out in Hartford, can that come out and overtake this situation if it passes?
It couldn't because we own the land, so we control the lands. If this was not a town piece of land, yes. If that was owned by somebody that didn't want to use it anymore, they wanted to sell it to a builder who wanted to use 830G, then yes, all bets would be off. We would have nothing to do with it. So the best thing right now for the residents there is knowing that we have ownership of the land. So someone can't come in town, and I can't sell that land to someone until we go to a town meeting and the town agrees to sell, which I know would never happen. So I think that you're protected there. But yes, if things change in Hopwood, I think the governor just vetoed that HB 5002. But if something like that comes through, there's other parcels in town that aren't owned by the town that anything could pretty much happen. But you're safe on that piece.
Okay, thank you.
You're welcome. Anything else?
Hi, I'm Chrissy Hayes. I live at 19 Meadowood Drive, and I just have a quick question. Are you going to keep us updated on the water situation and the progress of your findings?
I can as they happen. So
Yeah.
we're just right now kind of exploratory. If we decide on taking action on this is something that could help you, then I could, I wish I could do it rather than just keep writing letters and mailing them to you. But if I can find a good way to do it, I'll make sure that even maybe we can just do a flyer and stick it in your mailboxes or something.
That works. The letter was great too.
Yeah, I just wanted to let you know we're on it. That's all.
Thank you.
Yeah.
It really means a lot. I know it means a lot to me. It means a lot to all of us. So thank you.
You're welcome.
I just want to say, I don't think the governor vetoed it yet.
I thought he did.
No, he's on the fence from what I understand, but there is a phone number out there. So if you want to reach out to the governor about vetoing that and keeping the power within the towns, please do so.
Okay. Brian, you had a comment on this? No, you really want to go. You want to go first, believe me.
I'll be very quick, because I don't love public speaking. Leah Majorano, 16 Meadowood Drive. Thank you very much for hearing us at our last meeting. I can't tell you how much sleep we've lost, how stressed we've been as neighbors, family members. I think I need to know, can the Affordable Housing Committee go forward? And if I'm a teacher, I have some time this summer. I was going to say, I know I can make a FOIA request where all documentation has to be turned over about what land was looked at, the rationale as to why it wasn't. I didn't go there because the route that was taken. So really, I do appreciate it. But I do know those rights, and I would hate for us to just kind of sit on this, whether it's 6 months or 2 years, and then the same issue comes back, because my opinion about this is going to be as it is, that I believe in affordable housing. I don't believe in that location. So rather than wasting time, could this project or something similar be looked at in a different location, maybe where it's not as residential, because we are North Stonington and there is more land.
So I think the affordable housing, that is and there's a nonprofit in town called KNSA, and they're constantly looking at property. It makes more sense for them to use town property because they can get it for a lot less expensive. They looked at the property over near the Bellissimo, between Holly Green and Bellissimo, and the guy wanted some, like $1.5 million for it. Well, you can't build affordable housing if you're paying $1.5 million of land. So it makes sense for them to look at town land or land that someone's willing to give them. I know KNSA got a piece of land on Trolley Lane that was given to them by Mr. Hescock's sister, I believe. So that's the only way that they can make affordable housing. Now, if you have an 830G builder who buys a parcel of land, and instead of being able to put one house for every 2 acres, he could put 5 houses on 2 acres. Well, it's very profitable for him to do that. And that's why that kind of affordable housing gets built. But when that gets built, 30% of those homes have to be considered or deeded affordable. And when they do that, let's say there's 10 homes, that means 3 have to be affordable. That means that 7 don't. And in trying to attain this 10% number that the state seems to want us to hit, well, if you're building 3 affordable, that's great. That pushes us towards it. But then you build 7 that aren't, and pushes us back. So it's a 1 step forward, 1 step back. So when you do an affordable housing project with, say, 32 units, and they're all affordable, it gets us closer to the 10%, which then allows the town to not have to have people come in and just do whatever they want to do. So that's the sort of, so we're tabling this for now. You heard, we just voted to table it. We won't bring it back unless we let people know we're bringing it back. It's not going to be like, oh, if we just push over there, maybe everybody get tired of looking at it, we'll just kind of sneak it in later. That's not going to happen. As long as we're here, it's not going to happen. We may not all be here forever, but for now, at least you know that this administration tabled it, and then someone else would have to bring it back up again. It would have to go on a board of selectmen meeting, then have to go to a planning and zoning meeting, and then from planning and zoning back to us, back to a public hearing, and then probably a town meeting. So there's a lot of avenues. And I can't imagine that the people that would be most affected wouldn't know about it. If we get another affordable housing project that makes more sense and it's a great one that we can all latch on to, I'd love to do that. But we don't have that right now.
Yeah, that's my point, is just like, let's keep looking for that. I would really appreciate that. So thank you. I understand all of the legalities that go along with it. I appreciate you hearing us. I understand the need for it. And I'm hopeful that, maybe this brought to light some other issues that we have. So thank you. And I appreciate your time.
You're welcome.
Bob, on this, in hearing the concerns, I'd like to request, and that's what all we can do, is that the Affordable Housing Committee start broadcasting, at least putting them on YouTube. If they don't want to live broadcast them, recording them and having them on YouTube so the residents can see. So if there are concerns about what information came up, it's easily accessible. Pretty much all our committees now do that, except affordable housing and maybe one other one.
The appointing committees typically don't, except for rec. There's
but-
affordable housing, and you also have conservation and traffic commission. Although traffic commission, we have done those online.
Right.
So.
But I think since they are an appointed advisory board, I think we can request it.
Yeah, I'm not opposed to that. Okay. I'm sure Will wouldn't. As long as somebody could tell them how to run the IT, we'd be all set.
Yeah. And they don't even actually have to do it through this system. They can put their Zoom on and record it that way on one computer and have it facing if there's a confliction with the room. But I just think it'd be peace of mind and let more people participate in the process.
Okay. Any other discussion? Brian, did you want to say something? Yeah. Okay.
First of all, apologize for my clothes because I came down right out of my shop. So
I thought you were making a statement with the holes in the jeans.
I probably could sell
It's
them for
actually
some
very
prices.
trendy, Bri. It's very
It's
trendy.
Very trendy.
Anyways, I don't believe the governor signed it yet, and then he's took a vacation. He's over in France now. From what I understand, he's supposed to sign within 14 days. And if he doesn't, it automatically becomes law. Being a political year, I think that's probably what he's going to do. Anyways, that new bill, HB 5002, which I've been following right along, and I wasn't able to give it to the Affordable Housing Committee because the night I was going to give it, it was canceled. And then they had the meeting here. So anyways, in that bill, everybody talks about 10% of what we're supposed to have now. That was an imaginary figure the government gave us. Well, it was funny because when I was thinking back, when a developer bought land, he had to give the town 10% of it. Isn't it funny how 10% keeps coming up? Well, with this new bill, if it does go through, town's going to be required 18%. Right now, our town's supposed to have about 200 houses. It'll boost it up to 395 houses we're supposed to have. And if a developer comes in, he'll build 1,200 houses just to meet it. I do not personally like the state coming down and saying, your town's got to do this, when they'd never even bother coming down and talk to us. We're the people, I just heard tonight, we're the people that love this town and want it to stay. So I think it's time that we tell the state, why do we have to use our town land? There's plenty of state land around here. There's 95 acres up by the firehouse. And I'm thinking, well, why don't we make a proposal back to the state? Why can't we go up there and say, we'll take that 95 acres. We build affordable housings, all affordable housing on that land with the stipulations for our town that we don't have to build any more affordable housing. Because I really believe we have enough affordable housing in North Stonington. Some of our houses uncounted because they were built before 1990. I think that's I'm going to bring it up at the Affordable Housing Committee, whether they listen or not, I don't know. But I will say what I got to say. And I'd like to appeal to everybody here. We need another member, somebody that knows how to run these computers and stuff, because I don't. So if we can get some members on there and we care about the town and we're thinking about this town, let's push back on the state and say, hey, there's 138 towns just like us, and you're going to ignore us, or? I hope not. Because if you do, maybe we'll do something different. No more affordable housing for anybody. I mean, they want us to do for them, but they don't seem to want to do for us. They even threaten us by taking away money if we don't do it. What kind of negotiation is that? So I just want everybody to be mindful of it. I could stand up here for an hour and talk, but I'm not going to because I know I'll get 2 minutes. All right, thank you.
Thank you, Brian. Any other comment? Okay, hearing none, we'll move to number 9. Nicole, will you read the motion?
Sure.
Thank you.
I hereby move that the Board of Selectmen of the Town of North Stonington approve the funds necessary to implement the tentative agreement with AFSCME, Council for Local 1303-463, the Town Hall employees, for the term of July 1, 2025 to June 30th, 2028, pursuant to Connecticut General Statute 7-474B, by authorizing First Selectman Robert Carlson to execute documents consistent with the terms of the tentative agreement.
Thank you. Thank you, Brett.
Second, sorry.
All right, so we have a motion and a second. We're not going to discuss the contract itself, but is there any other discussion? Okay. Then why don't we vote? All those in favor of approving this motion as read, say aye.
Aye.
Aye. 3-0. Thank you. Old business, nothing to talk about tonight as far as vacancies and appointments, other than what Brett mentioned with the Affordable Housing Commission. Is there any additional public comments left? Anybody else want to say anything about Sean?
We voted to accept that contract. What's the increase for next year and the out years?
Did you write it down? 16, it's around
16.
16,000 overall for the town employees.
An additional
What percent?
16.
3%.
3%.
3%.
3% each year.
Well,
Yes.
can we can talk
Yep.
about the
Once
specifics
we
of it?
ratify it, yeah.
Oh, okay, yes, 3% each year of the contract.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Any additional comments?
Just want to make a comment, if you don't mind, that I didn't make
Sure.
under the selectman's comment. I just want to thank our highway foreman, Alan, for doing an amazing job over the past, 6, 7 months that he took over, maybe even longer now. I was at the Board of Ed meeting the other night, and I saw how well he looked at a situation and a problem and solved it, and put in so much time and effort to do so. And then when I'm signing checks on a regular basis, I see that he's putting effort in everything we hope that the highway foreman would do in regards to making sure we're getting the best possible outcome on pricing, but also the best solution for the community. And I just think sometimes we brush past that when a town employee does over and above what they're supposed to be doing, or maybe not even what they're supposed to be doing. To me, it's kind of what we should be hoping our employees do, but to see it in action and working with Alan over the past few months, it's just, I can't say enough good things about what he's doing for this community. And I hope the public realizes it when they see our highway department out there working, when they're driving down the roads and they go into another town, the difference between how we maintain our roads compared to the other towns, in all the buildings that now Alan is working to help oversee. And I think it's great how he's relying on our highway foreman to do the work that they need to do, and the employees are responding to it. I don't want to compare it to anybody else, but I'm just saying it's amazing to see the progress that we've made over the past 6 to 7, 8 months that he's been on the job. And I just wanted to thank him publicly for that. I thanked him personally, but I think I know you see it every day, but I don't think we always see it every day. And I don't think our residents get to see him in action. But if you watch the Board of Ed meeting from the other night, solving issues that are thrown in front of him, not just saying, no, this is how it's got to, this is how I was told it should be, this is how it's be. He's actually solving the problems at hand. So I just wanted to publicly thank him for that.
And thank you for that, because I would say myself and Suzanne thank him every day. In fact, we sometimes have to tell him, will you please go home? Or he'll come to my office and I'll say, did you just crawl through a pipe or something? Like, what's the matter with you? But he does a remarkable job. We have a really good DPW crew. Assistant Foreman Phil is picking up a lot of the paperwork to help Alan out. And Phil is sitting there and actually getting pricing too. So Alan's got him in the same mindset, which is great. I think we're in good shape. Yeah, we'll see what happens when he has an anniversary date coming up. We'll see what happens at that point. So thank you, Brett, for those words. I think Alan appreciate it. I appreciate it. And I think we all appreciate what we have. And we've got a lot of really good employees in town, and we're lucky. So thank you.
Completely agree. Thank you, Alan.
Is he online? Of course. Oh, geez. Of course he is. Alan, go home. Do something. All right, thank you. Our next meeting is July 1st. I'll entertain a motion for adjournment.
I will make a motion to adjourn.
Second.
Okay. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
All right, we'll